Hello all, welcome back students. So here we are starting the last set of chapter for 11th standard, that is chapter 11 and chapter 12 combined. It will have the concepts of database and SQL. Now please mark my words very properly. These two chapters combined are containing lots of points. But given the fact that again these two chapters will be repeated in 12th standard with some advanced points, I have decided to take up only selective topics from this chapter for 11th standard. Nevertheless, whenever we start 12th standard, we will again start with the basics of SQL, and advanced topics will be covered in 12th standard. My point of you can say talking this is, we will take up only selective topics in 11th standard from both of these chapters, which will lay the foundation of 12th standard. And whenever we start these chapters once again in 12th standard, we will start from the very basic of SQL. Okay. And this chapter will also contain some you can say small and important theories. So I request you, whatever theory modules that you are able to see in my video lectures, that you should note it down in your notebook or register, so that for examination purpose you are able to read it from the register whenever applicable. Okay, I repeat once again, these two chapters have lot of many number of topics, but for 11th standard I will be taking selective topics only. Once again, these chapters we will start in 12th standard, and that time we will see each and every topic from the core basic. Okay, so first of all, we should be clear about what is database. Okay, the first 2-3 video modules, or maybe the first 3-4 video modules, we will study some basic theories, correct? Once the theoretical concepts are clear, we will directly go into the practical case. Now, first topic that I want to discuss in this video module is what is a database. Okay, so to be very simplistic, a database is a collection of data, okay, stored in the form of a table consisting of rows and columns. Very simple. What is a database? A database is just a collection of data, and this collection of data is stored in the form of tables, and tables generally have rows and columns. Correct? Now, before I go ahead with you can say some examples of database or something like that, I would like to speak a minute or two regarding why do we need a database. Okay, let us take a, you can say, a classic scenario where your class teacher is maintaining the entire year's records of your exams and its result, maybe say in a register. Okay, whatever number of exams are conducted during the year, your class teacher is maintaining records of all those marks and everything in a register. Okay, now suppose a student has passed out 12th standard, and I want to see his or her mark of 10th standard, given that all his marks are written in the form of a you can say a register notebook. So will it be always feasible? You may say that yes sir, it will be feasible, but there are X and Y cases in that. Register may be lost, register pages may be torn. Okay, data, there is again no you can say no flexibility whether data will be preserved for a long time. Maybe teacher may change, maybe for XYZ reasons register can be, you can say, lost, or the register can be torn or something like that. Okay, although it is very difficult to visualize data from a register or a notebook. Now, what is the meaning of visualizing data? So let us take one small example. Suppose your class teacher maintains, as I said, the marks of 40 students, and suppose I immediately want, I want all names of those students in a very hurry who were scoring more than 70 marks or 70% of marks. So it will be very difficult for your teacher to open the register and then calculate, you can say, and see and write all the names who were, you can say, getting more than 70% marks. Now I may have different queries. Okay, I may have a query that I want to see all the students who are scoring more than 95 in maths. So it will be a hectic, you can say, workload for your teacher, that finding out all the marks of maths and then finding the students who are getting more than 95. So yes, manual entry is enough. Manual entry is okay, but flexibility of data is not preserved. This is where database comes into existence. Database is, in very simple words, is entry of data into proper structure of a table into a computer system. And as you know, the processing power of computer, if I want marks of students who are getting more than 19 maths, just I have to write one line of code, one small line of code, and within seconds, even we have thousands, 10,000, 20,000 lakhs of students, we will be able to get who students or how many students or which students are there who are getting more than 95 in maths. Okay. Now talking about what I talked about in register, that register may be lost, register may be torn apart. That is not the case with database. Okay, database is never lost. There is always a mechanism to keep backup of the data. Okay, one general life example I would be giving. Suppose you have a account in State Bank of India. Correct? You received 5,000 rupees from somewhere and you deposited your amount in State Bank of India's account 5,000. Now it is quite obvious that State Bank of India will not be maintaining, always it not be maintaining account book or register that this customer is there, he or she has deposited 5,000, and what will happen if that register is lost or maybe fire has broke down in the office. Okay, so obviously yes, maybe register entries or account book entries will be there, but that data is stored in SBI's central database. Now, as you know that suppose you have deposited 5,000 rupees in your SBI account at Bharuch. It is quite obvious that if you go for traveling at maybe say Chennai, you will be able to withdraw that 5,000 rupees from there. What mechanism provides this flexibility? The mechanism of database, that is a centralized database. Centralized database means the database which is accessible from anywhere provides this kind of flexibility. Getting me? One more example I want to say, suppose you have a social networking account. Okay, obviously the information that you are creating for using social networking account is stored in that social networking accounts database. And what is the good thing about the database? From any device, from any phone or from any laptop you log in, you will be able to access your profile or whatever is the case, because all the data is stored in a centralized database. Okay, in this way there can be so many examples of database, but I think with this you are having some basic idea regarding what is a database, what is its use, and why we prefer using database compared to manual entry in registers and books. Correct? Okay. Now the software which allows us to work with database is called DBMS. Okay, the software which allows us to work with database is called DBMS, whose full form is Database Management System. Okay, some examples of DBMS programs already we studied, I think in 8th standard, MS Access. Okay, we will study in 11th and 12th standard, you can say MySQL. Okay, there is one more example, MySQL Server. Okay, there is one more example, Oracle database. All these are few of the examples of database management system. Now I repeat once again, if you want you can write it. What is database management system? Database management system is a software which allows us to work with a database. Database management system is a software which allows us to work with any particular database. Okay. Now I hope you are clear. If you are asked a 2-mark answer, why do we need database? Okay, why do we need a DBMS program? Okay, already I spoke a many number of things. You can take up an example that database is needed because nowadays in the era of computers, we want our data, we want our particular data to be accessed from anywhere. We want our data to be processed fast. Now, what is the meaning of processing? As I told you, we have data of 1,000 or 1 lakh students. I want to quickly find that how many students are scoring more than 90% in maths, how many students are passing, how many students are failing. All this information I want within fraction of a second. Okay. So here where this DBMS or database comes into accountability, and using that and using computers processing power, we will be easily able to access data as per the filters we want. Filters means I want students who are failing in maths. I want students who are getting more than 16 maths. I want students who are getting more than 19 maths, but I want students who are getting more than 18 English. I want both criteria. I want all the students who are you can say scoring A1 and A2 grade. So lot many number of things I am speaking, but just think manually taking this information out will take so much amount of time. Here is where database or DBMS software comes into power, and using its processing functionality and using some codes, we will be able to access all the information. We will be able to, you can say, execute all the things, or we will be able to execute all the queries in a fraction of a second, and we will get processed data very easily. Processed data means, suppose I have data of 1,000 students. I want all the students who are getting more than 70% in their exam. So the data that is returned, that is names of all the students who are getting more than 70% in their exams, that is called processed data. Okay. So I hope you will be able to write a 1 mark or a 2 mark answer, that why do we need database management system? We need a database management system because it has the processing power by which we can store data and retrieve data when and wherever we require as per our conditions. I have spoken the answer. You can rewind the video so that you are able to write it in your notebook. And if it is a 2 mark answer, give one example, that suppose we have a group or a data of 10,000 students, and using the power of database management, we will be easily able to process our queries, like getting students, all students getting 90% in their exam, all students passing, all students failing, all students getting more than 60% in English, and XYZ examples. So I hope you are clear about that why do we need database. Now let us talk about the last point in this video, that is advantages of DBMS. Okay, there are so many advantages, and remember students, from the point of view of theory paper, there is no need to explain these advantages. Only you remember the topics of the advantages, that will be more than enough. Okay, there is no need to explain as of now. The only reason is in 12th standard we will you can say discuss examples more properly. We will discuss the advantages more properly, and that time we may go for detailing of the same. In 11th standard, all the advantages you need not explain, only you remember means the contents of the advantages. Okay, the first advantage is control of data redundancy. Okay, let me explain this to you. Redundancy means repetition. Repetition. Now, is repetition a good thing or not? No. Why it is not a good thing? Because if we keep on repeating the data again and again in our database, it will you can say consume unnecessary memory. Suppose by mistake I have done entry of roll number 10 5 times. Okay, by mistake. Obviously it will be storing unnecessary space, but database system does not act that way. It is designed in such a way that as soon as we are trying to enter data which is already present in the database, it will give us an error message that this data already exists. You cannot enter the same data again. So this is one of the, you can say, biggest advantages of DBMS. It automatically prevents redundant data. It automatically prevents repetitive data if we are trying to enter that in a database. Correct? Data consistency. I gave you one example of that. Suppose you deposited 5,000 rupees, The entry of 5,000 rupees will definitely be made in maybe any bank's database, and that data will be preserved. It is not the case that that 5,000 will become 4,000 without any reason. Okay, I want to speak that data will stay consistent, data will stay safe. Okay, no matter from whenever or wherever you access that data. So consistency of data will be definitely preserved. And I repeat these things once again. These advantages I am speaking, there is no need to go for the explanation. Only remember the concept and only remember the main points which can be asked in a 2-mark or 3-mark answer. Another very important case is sharing of data. Obviously, as you are able to understand, you deposited money in SBI Bharuch. Your data will be accessible throughout the world. Whether even you go for foreign travel, you will be able to withdraw your money maybe in XYZ foreign currency. Withdraw the money that you have, you can say, stored in SBI central database. So the main thing is database is facilitating the good thing of sharing. Database can be shared very easily, and that is not in our hands that how it is shared and everything. But once a database is created, any centralized database is created on requirement, that can be shared throughout the globe, and your data can be accessible from anywhere and at any place throughout any location. Correct? Then we always have privacy and security. Okay, many databases are created in such a way that it is very secure. Suppose we take an example of net banking. You want to access your net banking account, there will be obviously some data, some, you can say, security code which we call username and password. Okay, suppose you go to your ATM with ATM card, correct? Just by merely standing in front of the ATM with your ATM card will not allow you to access your account. You have to insert the ATM card. Also, you have to insert the ATM pin. So this acts as a, this inserting the ATM card and entering the ATM pin, these are, you can say, measures of security. Given that once you correctly enter that security features, then only you will be able to access your account and do things skillfully. Similarly, you can talk the same about your you can say email accounts. Email accounts are what? They are examples of centralized data. Okay, and you will be able to access those centralized data only when you have the proper username and password. So most of the database systems, if required, are having the very nice feature of privacy and security, given that if you have proper credentials, if you have proper username, if you have proper pin, then only you will be able to access data from that particular database. Another feature of database, it is economical. Okay, now why it is economical? Suppose you are creating a database once, correct? That database can be shared with whatsoever person, with any you can say application, with anyone you want. So technically you need not create databases again and again. Once database is created, it can be shared with you can say security features to anyone. That means it will become economical. Now how it will become economical? It is very understandable that persons who create database actually charge money. Okay, they are actually called database administrators. Persons or people who create databases, official databases for big companies, they actually charge money. The good thing about database is once it is created, it is no, there is no requirement to create database again and again, because if a company feels that it is going to create database again and again, it has to offer a lot of money to the database administrator. Okay, so database once created can be shared easily with n number of companies, n number of applications. So you can say in short that a database is economical. Correct? We have a very important feature of you can say DBMS, that it is having backup and recovery features. Okay, I will explain about this backup and recovery. Now, what is the meaning of backup? I hope everyone knows that. Suppose let us take the same set of examples. Suppose you are you can say entering your or depositing your money in SBI. So SBI being a very big company, it will not have only one database. It will always have backup of the database. Backup, I hope you are understanding. Backup is a file, or backup is a, you can say, storage, which will automatically save your data to some other location. I will give you a very simple and practical example before I end this video. Suppose Google has its main database in Mumbai, correct? All our data regarding, for example, now this is for example, all our data regarding Google account, Gmail, Android login, everything is stored in Mumbai server. Now Google being a very big company, it will not do such foolish things that it will have only one database. Okay, it will automatically create backup of those database at different locations. One of the server of Google, server means a system which contains the database. One of the servers of Google will be at maybe Bangalore. One of the servers of Google will be at Kolkata. Now, what are the work of these database servers? Suppose the main server is Mumbai. For any XYZ reason, the main server or main database that is there in Mumbai fails. So automatically the main database and the backup server that is there at Bengaluru will kicking, and your work will continue. Okay, yeah, there can be things na. Suppose the place where the database is kept, or the server computer is kept, is under fire. Maybe there are some connectivity issues. So that case, automatically the servers or the database at other locations will kick in. So that is what we call the concept of backup. Okay. Recovery means database applications or DBMS has the facility that even if data is lost, it has the feature of recovering the lost data. Okay, I don't want to go into detail of this. Now, as I told you, there is no need to explain these things. Okay, you for 11th standard, just you remember this. These are the some of the advantages of DBMS. Correct? So students, before I end this video, what did we cover up in this video module? We covered up that what is a database. We very importantly covered up why do we need a database, what is the advantage of using database, what is DBMS. DBMS is a software which allows us to work with database applications. Some examples of DBMS softwares I have given. We will be mostly working with these two in 11th and 12th standard. And I told you in detail why do we need DBMS with the theory, with example. You can pause that video, go back to that portion of the video and write the answer if you want. As I told you that there are lots of advantages of database management system, but I gave the most important ones and you only remember the contents, not the in detailed theory part. Okay, fine. Please go back into this video and watch it once again. Please make sure that all these contents that I am speaking for SQL is written in your register, so that whenever exams or something like that comes, it is easy for you to refer and read. Okay, that would be all from my side for this video. Thank you and have a nice day.